So I came back from work yesterday and my house was empty. My husband and my children were not around. So I pulled my clothes, did some house chores, took my bath, ate and went to bed to sleep. So around 6 p.m. they came in and my daughter walked into my room and she was like, "Mommy, I'm not feeling fine." So I touched her body and it was very hot. Then I asked my husband, when did the sickness start and why didn't you take her to the hospital? And he told me because there was a medication at home that he intended treating her by himself. That is malaria period, so he assumed that my daughter was having malaria. I told him that it is wrong to assume that a child has a particular sickness. Because you are into drugs does not mean that any fever is malaria, that we need to take this girl to the hospital, do some necessary tests, and get her properly treated. He was arguing. So I begged him to take me to the hospital. He was still dragging his feet. So I picked up my child and took her to a pediatric hospital. So when I came, I ran some tests. When the results came out, lo and behold, there was no malaria, there was no typhoid, her PCV was normal. So when it was my turn to see the doctor, I went in and explained everything to him. So he checked the results and my daughter, there was no malaria in her results. So he asked her to open her mouth and then checked her throat. That was when he found out that my daughter was having tonsillitis. So he told me that they are always careful when treating children with tonsillitis to avoid the complications that comes with tonsillitis. Placed her on injections and some oral medication. Right now, my daughter is responding to treatment and she feels better. I'm really glad that I didn't listen to my husband. When it comes to my children's health and our health, I do not play guesswork. I follow the necessary procedures to make sure that we are treating the right thing, okay? So the lesson to grab from this story is that not all fever is malaria, not all headache is malaria, okay? Whenever you have fever, do not run into the pharmacy to grab anti-malaria drugs. Go to the hospital and run some necessary tests, okay? Because there are many illnesses that has the same symptoms as malaria, okay? We have malaria, typhoid, tonsillitis, and so many other illnesses, okay? Stop the guesswork, stop self-medication, okay? Self-medication and guesswork will only complicate things for you and then make the actual illness difficult to treat. So make sure you go to the hospital for proper diagnosis, okay? See you in my next video and do not follow this page. Bye.